All is set for tomorrow's pre-trial conference, bringing together all parties to the presidential election petition as judges lay down the rules of engagement for the hearing that starts Wednesday.
Well, this comes as the National Security Advisory Council petitioned the Supreme Court to give it audience so as to address claims made by IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati that it tried to tilt the race in favor of Azimio leader Raila Odinga. NTV senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi now brings us more details.
For the next week, the 7 judges of the Supreme Court will begin hearing the case challenging the outcome of the August 9 presidential election. The Milimani courts have been designated as the seat of the Supreme Court. However, the number of those scheduled to attend will be restricted because of the limited space at the venue. The judiciary's chief registrar Anne Amadi says at the deadline for the petition submissions, 9 petitions had been filed, and as of this evening, all responses had been captured. Monday, 29th August had been set aside for interlocutory applications.
Interlocutory applications are applications that happen before the main hearing to sort out issues that a particular party would have an interest in. For example, if I want to join it as an interested party, that decision has to be made before we go into the hearing proper.
Amadi says as at 5 p.m. Monday, 20 interlocutory applications had been filed.
We also have had quite a number of interlocutory applications that have been filed by different parties. There are those who are asking to strike out the petitions. There are some who are seeking to be included as interested parties. There are those who want to be included as amicus curiae or friends of the court. There are some who are seeking different orders relating to the scrutiny of the votes. So these applications are being considered, and all the rulings will be delivered to the respective parties electronically.
Among the key filings brought in Monday are the affidavits by the head of public service, Joseph Kenywa, who is also the chairperson of the National Security Advisory Committee, and another by the principal administrative secretary in the office of the President, Kennedy Kihara, who is a member of the committee. Kenywa, in his affidavit, admits sending a team to meet Chairman Wafula Chebukati on the 15th of August at the Bomas of Kenya, but denies it was about an attempt to subvert the outcome of the poll. The affidavit says, and I quote, "The said meeting of 15th August 2022 was necessitated by the fact that the NSAC, in the discharge of its mandate, had become seized of information to the effect that apparent delays in declaring the results of the presidential election and the manner in which the results were being transmitted, including the stoppage of the public display of the results, had generated considerable public anxiety and risked creating the opportunity for chaos and insecurity in parts of the country." Kennedy Kihara, on his part, admits to a meeting he led to see Chebukati, but denies any ill will. And I quote, "On 15th August 2022, on the instructions of the NSAC, I led a delegation comprising the above-named members of the NSAC, that is Mr. Kennedy Ogeto, Mr. Hilary Mutiambai, and Lieutenant General Francis Omondi Ogola, to attend a meeting with the first and second respondents at the National Tallying Center at the Bomas of Kenya." On the other hand, President-elect William Ruto's chief agent, that is Professor Kindiki Kithure, has filed an interlocutory application under a certificate of urgency asking the Supreme Court to throw out responses by 6 IEBC commissioners and have their pleadings expunged from the records.
It is expected that as at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, all the rulings relating to the interlocutory applications shall have been delivered so that the pre-trial session begins without any pending applications.
Lawyer Dunstan Omari and other lawyers under the Mawakili Mtaani initiative have filed an application at the Supreme Court seeking to have the August 9th elections nullified, insisting that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission did not put in place enough measures to allow the disabled to vote, despite them numbering about 800,000 who are registered voters.
Hatutakubali IEBC kufanya kura kulingana na vile Chebukati anavyotaka ama kulingana na Cherere vile anavyotaka. Sisi tunasema sheria imesema kila Mkenya katika kipengele cha 138 kila Mkenya lazima apewe uhuru, political right, ya kupiga kura.
At the pretrial conference, the court is expected to frame the contested and the uncontested matters in the petition. It will then consider whether to consolidate the petitions and the number of advocates that the court will hear on behalf of each party and allocate time for each party to address the court.
We are expecting that every team will be allowed only up to 4 lawyers. It is still being negotiated, and we're expecting that the guidelines will be provided anytime now. We're going to have about 11 observers. We are going to have about 8 law clerks and the entire legal team from the Office of the Chief Justice.
For the better part of last week, the merits and demerits of the many cases that have been presented before the Supreme Court were prosecuted in the courts of public opinion, where everybody wanted to shout out and make sure that their voice was heard. However, from Tuesday, the real work starts when 7 of the Supreme Court judges will sit, hear and determine the outcome of the 9th August election. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV at the Milimani Courts in Nairobi County.